Juxtaposition. The fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effect. Incestuous lemming tit wank. Juxtaposition is a common writing technique used to flesh out characters in great detail, to create suspense, and to achieve a rhetorical effect. It is also used to create contrast between one or more ideas to give one or some or all ideas a stronger presence. Which is why I juxtapose the cliche of starting your video essay off with a dictionary definition with the much more evocative imagery of an incestuous lemming tit wank. It's a really fun writing device that I enjoy analyzing and personally implementing. Juxtaposition, not the lemming tit wank. Hot Fuzz, an absolute masterclass, and the use of juxtaposition is probably one of my favorite movies ever. Everything from the straight-laced, uptight main character being forced to move to a more laid-back precinct, right down to the fast-paced editing during scenes of characters merely doing paperwork. Which is actually why this film is so popular with actual police officers, because it's an accurate portrayal of the amount of paperwork they have to do. Pub trivia. Over-the-top grandeur-style violence perpetrated for the most mundane reasons. Intense gunfights taking place in a dreary northern village or the deli aisle, local supermarket, and a high-speed car chase between a pair of Vauxhall Astras. I could crank this movie's yanked to the swans come home. It's a triple masterpiece. Okay, I'll stop that now. Video games are rarely as clever, however, as long as you know why you're putting boot to mushroom or bullet to face. Any more than that is just showing off, quite frankly. The medium isn't bereft of examples of juxtaposition or just good writing in general, because video games have the advantage of having the audience directly influence the events taking place. Within reason, of course. In Call of Duty, you can't just diffuse Johnny terrorists with diplomacy and a promise of a slap-up lunch, but you know what I mean. Spec Ops: The Line is one of my favoritist video games ever made ever. On the surface, it just looks like yet another generic military shooter that the 7th console generation was ejaculating out of every possible orifice. However, this game is a heretic and a deviant because it's actually rather clever. Because even though the gameplay is only just slightly above average, it's its bitter, miserable, self-reflective story that really makes it. And unless you've been too busy drinking carpet stain remover to tell what the main theme of this video is, I think you can figure out why. Without wishing to spoil, because I highly recommend it, the story is only made all the more stronger and more impactful because of its bland, generic wrapping, not in spite of it, because it's made all the more dismal and morose when juxtaposed with all the Oh god, I'm a terrible person. Wolfenstein The New Order pulls a similar trick by having exhausted rebels pondering about what is even the point of fighting such a colossal and insurmountable force for evil, while at the same time killing space Nazis on the moon with ancient Jewish weaponry, which is why it's fantastic. And is also why the sequel is kind of a bright piss-up for me, because having the tired and existential rebels continue to be tired and existential while still fighting the colossal and insurmountable force for evil in even more ridiculous scenarios just comes off as desperate and uncreative. Hopefully the next sequel will just focus on expanding gameplay, because they've already shown that they've hit their creative peak, in my opinion. Just go full Doom and make the story just a side thing easily ignored. Of course, it would be remiss of me in a video about contrast to not mention the Yakuza series, which is a fucking riot, because it juxtaposes its gritty, engaging crime drama with and then it goes to and then Shitsuki is back to I will avenge you, Goku. And then back to I will win Wii Bowling. It's absolute genius, even though it's just Grand Theft Auto for weeaboos. However, I wish to move on to the reason I'm even bothering with this pseudo-intellectual wankfest. The latest Melissa McCarthy vehicle, The Happy Time Murders, which is sneaking out at the end of the month, and oh, Muppet fucking God.
50 cents, I'll suck your dick.
Well, it's a great price. It almost makes me wish I had a dick for you to suck.
Oh, I'll take that as a yes.
Right, first off, can we just stop with Melissa McCarthy? Just stop. To put it professionally, she doesn't have the charisma, nor the presence, nor the talent to work as a lead. Yet that seems to be the majority of the roles she seems to find herself in. It seems that she'd be much more fitting to the comedy relief side character, as in, damn, there is way too much comedy in this thing. What's a relief that they're taking a break from that?
You
God, are you all right?
I ruptured my hymen.
Secondly, this idea that people seem to have that it's really clever to take something that looks like it was made for kids, but making it for adults by adding a few fuck words and pee-pee jokes that only children and adults who are mentally children would actually laugh at, is really fucking obnoxious. It's just not clever. It's not interesting. It's like a Shakespearean actor mid-play screamed, "Oh my god, would you cunts to speak fucking English?" Actually, that would be hilarious. Point is, it's just not clever. There's only one joke you can make with the premise. Of course, every good rule has its exceptions, but why are you trying to naughty up the Muppets? Ignoring, of course, the interspecial relationship between Kermit and Ms. Piggy that would obviously make God cry. The Muppets have always centered around entertainment that the entire family could enjoy, going all the way back to the TV show from the 70s, and part of the reason they've remained such a cultural icon. And also, I highly recommend the show, by the way. It does actually hold up. So having a Muppets literally coming silly string all over the place, it just comes off as kind of sad and desperate. Also Melissa McCarthy. Another not officially Muppets, but Brian Henson is directing, son of Jim, and the guy who made the best Christmas movie ever, so, I don't know, maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be...
Hey, handsome. You looking for some rotten cotton?
I'm a woman.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's even better.
Got a good time for you.
Let's put this show out of its misery.
I know there's other examples of this, but off the top of my head, the only other movie I can think of that pulls this shit is Sausage Party, which might be my most hated thing ever. Genuinely, I despise it. Fuck it and burn it. If it was just only unfunny, juvenile, badly paced dross, I could live with that. Just toss it into the mental garbage fire where it belongs and never think about it again. But it's the behind the scenes bullshit that actually fucks me off. I'm not going to go too much further into it now, but I'll link to an article in the description. I know you're not going to read it, so let's just pretend that Seth Rogen ate all the animators. Why not? Fuck Melissa McCarthy. Back on the actual movie, it doesn't fucking work, dickheads. I know you're not supposed to explain comedy, but that's the logic of weirds and queers. Fuck that. The basis of comedy is subversion of expectation. That is the framework of basically every joke ever made, ever, more or less. Wordplay is subversion of the English language, dark comedy is subversion of decent society, and juxtaposition comedy is creating a reality based in one extreme, then throwing in a character or ters with a sensibility set in the opposite extreme to subvert said reality. And Sausage Party fails at even the basis level subversion because the one joke that they did have, the kids movie where they say the naughty word, is completely done and dealt with in the gosh dang diddly trailer, you bugger fuck! Hot Fuzz worked because it had a stronger core premise of which more ideas could have been hung from, and it is a much stronger work of filmmaking. Different genres, of course, but in terms of execution and ambition and budget and editing and writing and cinematography and not using slave labor, Hot Fuzz is an entire league of its own, you bastards! God, this movie's so fucking shit. It's so stupid. It's like that it knows how fucking simplistic its premise is, and it barely struggles to make an entire film out of it. They even have to fit in one last shitty joke at the end just so they can crack past the 80-minute mark. Fuck, I hate this fucking movie. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Alright, I don't want to end this on a negative note. So, Roald Dahl. Everyone knows this guy. I've read these books. You've read these books. We've all read these books. And in a video essay about juxtaposition, it would just be so easy just to point out the scary boat scene in the Happy Kids movie and just call it a day, but fuck that. No, boring. I, however, want to bring up one of Dahl's lesser-known works, Rhyme Stew, which is a collection of original and parodized poetry. And you'd expect for such a ubiquitous author of children's literature that when they write a collection of poems, you'd expect them to be suitable for children. However, I'm just going to read you one of my favorite poems in the book. A Hand in the Bird. I'm a maiden who is 40, and a maiden I shall stay. There are some who call me haughty, but I care not what they say. I was running the tombola at our church bazaar today, and doing so with gusto in my usual jolly way. Then suddenly, I knew not why, there came a funny feeling, something crawling up my thigh. I nearly hit the ceiling. A mouse, I thought, how foul, how mean, how exquisitely tickly. Quite soon, I know, I'm going to scream. I've got to catch it quickly. I made a grab. I caught the mouse, now right inside my knickers. A mouse, my foot, it was a hand. Great Scott, it was the vicar's. Hey, did you enjoy the video? Well, in that case, you're a fool. You're a fool in a man's clothes, because you could have seen it early. You're a Patreon. Because all Patreons get to see my videos early and get teasers and trailers and what's and the Patreon. And all the really cool Patreons get the names. Look, they get their own names. I've always wanted a name. Or if you have money, but you want to replace it with tangible goods, you can go to Humble Bundle. That's right, the button that's on the screen here. Because Jackbox is doing a jack of boxes. The box of jacks. Get all the jacks and all the box for just $12 or $1. I don't care. As long as you slide the thing so I get the money. I don't care. It's all fine by me. Just get all your jacks, put them on a shelf, and remember to feed them. That's all. It's all good. Or if you like the video but you have no money, are in fact homeless, and are watching this on a pizza box, then you can just do the classic like and subscribe and consume the blood of anyone whose name starts with Q. Good night, everybody.